Hey everyone, welcome to this module. In this module, we are going to cover Matplotlib. That is a visualizing library in the Python. And that's something like if we have data, we can plot the data in these different kinds of form. Like here, if you notice this one, this is a simple plot in which we have a x-axis, y-axis, and these curves are showing some data. Like if we consider any particular point, this one denoting 1 here and 1 here, that is 1, 1. And till now we have learned about the NumPy and pandas. There we have learned creating the series and data frames. In this module we are going to cover that how we can make the data visualize on these graphs so someone can understand that better, because visualized memory is always better than like reading one. You cannot just get everything by reading. If you show something like in form of these curves, like at this point I have highest data, then analyzing the data is much easier than like that one in the form of data frames. So that's what we are going to cover here. After that we will learn about more techniques regarding the visualization of the data. So one more thing, to install the Matplotlib, go to terminal and there write just like pip install and then Matplotlib. Here focus on spelling, that is Matplotlib. There we have three different words, where Mat stands for another programming language that is known as Matlab. It's a software also, and that one is used for mathematical calculations for electronic students. They used to plot curves like sinusoidal waves and cos waves, that is some trigonometric kind of stuff, and much more. So from that one, this library is also inspired. That one is a paid software, so everyone cannot use that one. So that's why Python has its own library called Matplotlib. And after that we have plot. This plot stands for like plotting the data that we have in forms of data frames or series on graphs. Then lib stands for library. Now just hit return and enter on Windows. So here you will get this one installed. And if you are not using Conda distribution, then prefer to install Conda install, then Matplotlib. Again hit return, you will get that one installed. So thanks for watching. From the very next video we will continue that how we can work with that one. Hey everyone, so in this video we are going to learn that how we can use the Matplotlib. So I have another notebook here on the Anaconda navigator. Now if you want to save this notebook, that's the thing, I'm not saving these notebooks. You can just save them or you can download them. Now first of all, Matplotlib is a library, so we need to import that one. So first this syntax is required to use these libraries, that is import Matplotlib, and with that we need .pyplot for plotting the data in form of graphs, and import this one as plt. Shift return, and there we go, this cell runs successfully. Plt is a common word we generally prefer for Matplotlib type of things. Like for pandas we have pd and np for numpy. Also we need to have numpy because we are going to work with data. And let me also import the pandas if we need that one. So here we go with this line. We are not going to edit this one after this. Now here we have first to have any graph, like we need to have some data first. So let me create some data by using the numpy. So most common one is like I have a linearly spaced array that is beginning from 0 and goes up to 20 and have like let this one up to 10 and have 20 points in that one. If you print x1, you have this one, all the linearly spaced points. Then we have another one that is like y is equal to x star x, and there we go with that one also. If you print y, you will get this one. Then we have another one that is z equal to, and this one like x plus y. Now print z, you will get that one. So here we go with three datas here. Now to plot these data on graph, you require a simple syntax. That is, like if you want to have a curve of x and y, so just use plt, this one that we have the library imported. So plt dot, and then we use plot because we are going to plot these values, and parentheses, in parentheses just write the values like x and y. Here I got the curve, this one. You can also check this curve like this one is correct or not, like these values are in points. So if I do x comma x, I will get a straight curve, that is this one here, because all the values at every point are equal, and for equal values like y is equal to x, we always have a straight line. So this is how you can also check that either your library is working completely fine or not. Now after that, in this one, like this thing, I have x comma y, I have this one. You can also add values more here like x comma x, sorry, not x comma x again. There I got this one extra there, so let me remove that. Now we have this one, so you will get two curves, but there this one is a little different from what we have expected. But if you properly notice on this graph, so have a look at this one, like here if you notice, this curve is going upwards because it has value 100 on 10. Maybe that one, I don't know how this get to 100. Oh, that's why, because the 10th value is 10, and when we do y x star x, it will be 100. So the point at this one is 10 and 100. But if we consider the second line, that is x comma x, that have equal values on every point, like on 10, this one also here if you notice is 10 because this one is 20. This scale on y is increased, and on x it's same. So that's why this is nearly like not on the middle that we have expected, like that one. Let me show you, like this one, that one is a little different. So that's because of the values of first curve, that is this one. So I hope you get the idea now that how this refer. And you can also add another points here like y comma x, you will have this one. Here if you notice this curve on orange one, it ends up here. That's because the maximum value of x is 10, which is now here, because x-axis is now also increased. On the last we have maximum 10, now we have 100, because we also require that y on x-axis and y value is maximum 100 and x value is maximum 10, like here this one 10 and this one is 100. So that's how in a single plt.plot command you can plot any number of curves. That depends on you. You can also have here like x comma z. So here I have now 4 curves. So it doesn't matter how many you are plotting, you can use a single graph to plot as many as you want. So I hope you got the idea now. After that, let me remove the extra one here, and we have this simple one. Now this graph look like a simple graph. It doesn't have any axes on x and on y and nothing about the graph. So if you give this graph to anyone, I believe no one can understand that one, that what these things denoting. If you have ever seen any graph, then you always notice that there is something on x-axis like time, frequency, and something on y-axis also. So these things are known as labels, and we generally make them like PLT. PLT is used everywhere because we are using the Matplotlib library, just like we have used PD in case of pandas and NP in case of numpys. So that's what we have PLT. Also there are another way of plotting these graphs by using a different attribute here that I will teach you in next videos. So here we have PLT dot, and then if you want to have X label, just X label, and then like this one is X axis. So here we go with this one. If you notice this one, we have get this X axis and a statement here. After that, for Y axis we have PLT dot Y label, that is this one. Now this one is Y axis, and there we go with this one. If you want to have title for this graph, then again PLT dot title, and something title like unnecessary graph. and that's what we have here. Now you will get unnecessary here because this is something that have no sense. So I hope you get the idea that how this works. I will not stretch the video much long because it will be boring then. So that's about the plotting the data on graphs and how you can plot them. So thanks for watching, and we will continue in the next video. Hey everyone, so in the last video we have learned about the Matplotlib, and in this video we are going to cover subplots. So I think you understand what this subplot means. It means plotting different plots on the same page. We have done something like plotting different values in a same graph. That is like we have done plt.plot and then x comma y comma x comma x, something like this one. So here I have used the same graph for plotting these two different values. But what about using different graphs to plot these different values? So there came in role that is known as subplot. That is something like in the same page we have different plots, and to have them we just use plt.sub here, that is subplot. And then we will first define that subplot, like this thing is going to define the subplot, in which we have three parameters, that is 1, 2, 3. And these parameters are denoting first one rows, second one column, third one is the number of graph. Like if I have two rows, and 2 will be a little complex one here, 3 rows, 2 columns, and then here we will define the number of graph that is in current use, like this one, 1. If you have here 6, you will have the 6th graph. That is something you did not understand now, but let me show you that one. Command C this one and paste this one 6 times. That is denoting every single plot here. One more thing, student get confused in while changing the number of graphs. Like here this one is the first one, then this one is the second one, so I change the parameter to second. So here I have first column, then I have second column, as I have 2 columns there. Then now instead of changing this one like this parameter, they assume that I have to first change the row like this, that is one here, and remain this one as like this one, 1 2 1 2 1 2. They do something like that one. But always you have to change the last parameter, that is this one. The first two, that is defining the rows and column, will always be same. This thing like you are now thinking that why I will mistake in that one, but this is the thing that I have noticed most the students are making mistakes in. So only change these values like these, and if you shift return that one, you will get these plots, that is here first, second, third, 4, 5, 6, and these are like something overlapping each other. So to prevent overlapping, always in the last write something like tight, and then we use this command to make like these graphs are here. If you notice, this thing is about that one and this is about that one. So here we use tight layout, that is this one, and again this one is a Matplotlib method. So here we use plt.matplotlib, sorry, plt.tightLayout. And then you will notice something that there's a different in gaps, but that doesn't happen here, maybe this time, and there we go. So it also requires the parentheses that I forgot to mention here. So here if you have noticed, now these things have a common space in between them. And now what about plotting the data in these values? Like how can I plot the data in this one? So whenever you need to plot the data in any of that one, just after that particular one, write plt.plot, and then we have x comma x, and there we go with that one, that it works. So here we got this one. You can plot with anyone, like if I want to plot on the second one now, that is x and y. So here I will use plot with plt.plot, and there we go with x comma y. And with the third one I need to plot like plt.plot x comma z, and with this one on first plt.plot, and let me have x comma x here, x comma y, x comma z, and here I will have plt.plot and then y comma z. And if you do that one, you will get all the various graphs plotted, and that's taking a little while because my PC is little warm right now. So here I have all the 5 graphs. That are few are like same, these are same, maybe like this is x comma x, fourth one is same, that is y comma z. That not have to, but it's showing, maybe it's correct. So now you got the idea that how you can plot on these graphs. Also you can name any axis and name any graph just by using here. If I want to name this one, so just use plt.x label that we have learned for single one. So this is like x axis, then for y, and this one y axis, and there we go with that one. And it's working. Let's wait for that one. And also if you only need to plot some of the graph, then it's not required to plot every graph there. So if you can just remove this one, and there we go. If you notice this one y axis and this one x axis, and if you write the names here also, they will be properly layout because of tight layout. And after that, here I have removed those that I did not require. Now if you shift return that one, then you will get only these 4 one. Like if you notice this one, I have only first, second, fifth and sixth, not more. So that's how you can have any graph you want in that particular page. So this one is just for like if you want to have multiple graphs in a same page. So in that case we will use subplot. This one is also a MATLAB operation that is plotting various graphs in a single page. Also you can add titles just by using these, and there we go with only 2. So now I hope you got the idea that how it works, and thanks for watching. We will continue in the next video with some more interesting topics. Hey everyone, so now we are also done with the subplots. Now we are going to cover the different types of plots in Matplotlib. Before that, for every library like Matplotlib or Seaborn, you will get an official website for that one. Like here we have matplotlib.org for Matplotlib. There you will get everything about the Matplotlib, and here I am in examples. There you will find the gallery in which you have different kinds of graphs like all these here. So this is something the topic of our video. We are going to cover a few basic ones that are mostly used, not the all. So here we find every kind of chart, and here we have pie charts also. And if you need to have anyone, just click on that one. You will find the code for that one. So here if you notice, we have the code for this one. And if you also notice, this one is a little different. We are using plt commands, and here something x is 1. So that's what we are going to learn later in the videos. Now few basic graphs, like first of all we have our most basic one, that is x comma y. Here this one. Another one is known as scatter plot. If you do something like this one, you just need to change this plot, sorry this is plt, the plot command, this plot command into the type of graph you need. Like here I need scatter, just do this, you will get this one. If you need a histogram, that is the another basic one used most of the times. So here I have a histogram, that is also you have seen in presentations etc. If you need a bar graph, then again plt dot just bar here x comma y, and there we have a bar graph. If you notice the point on the 10, we have 100. So one more, that is known as fill. It will be a closed curve showing your data like 100 on 10. So that's what some of the basic types of plots here. One more thing, if you are going to use the plots like the pie chart, then maybe this will not work, because every different kind of chart require different kind of data. Like all these I have shown you here require the linear type of data. If you use something like a one known as box plot, and there we have x comma y, you will get error. If you try to have a pie chart, that is something like this one, you will get a list, and then you will also get something that is going to be processed here, and that's not the actual pie chart like this one. We are going to have something else here. Let's wait for that one also, so that you can see that one. So here if you notice this thing, that is, let me zoom that. So these things that are like these small portions, but they are arranged in a non-systematic order and just increasing, because the value is increasing from 0 to 100, like this one, this one here, this blue point. So that's what the pie chart here is. And one more thing, you can also use these plots for subplots also, like these different kinds of plots. Like if I do something like plt.subplot and a subplot of 2 rows 2 columns, that means I have 4 elements, that is just 1 2 3 and 4. So copy this one 4 times, and here we have this one 2, this one 3, and this one 4. After that, plt.type_layout, never forget this one while you are working with subplots. After that, plot something like, in first we have plt.plots, the simple one, that is x comma y there. Then we have something like plt.histogram there, so hist, and we have x comma y. After that we have a bar chart, that is bar and xy there. The last one, let we have a fill, plt.fill, and this one x comma y. So now here you will get different subplots with different types of plotting on them. One more thing, there are some kinds of plot in which the data we have is converted into some another form. Like if I have something known as polar, that is polar, like the mathematical students will understand. The Cartesian, like the degree, we have another form, that is polar form, representation of we can say that trigonometric values. So here if you write x comma y, this polar generally works on the degrees and radians. So here you will get something like that one, a 360-degree graph in which we have the values starting from 0 and ending up this point, that is approx 220 degrees, and that denotes the actual values of these points that we have taken, but in the polar form. You can also get the idea that how we can convert these into polar forms. So by that you can check the values. And one more thing, if you try to plot this one here, then these plots are something they did not get work with the other different kinds of plots, like in which other form of data is used. Like if you do that one, so there we go. Here we have this one, this circle overlapping the all three. So that's because this doesn't belong to that particular method. So that's why this overlap all these without noticing that they are already there. So that's what the types of plots in Matplotlib we have, and that's how you can use them just by changing this one value. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.